All right, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews. Harold, how you doing?
I'm good,
Um,
man.
Good to see you. Listen, how would you describe this season compared to last season? How is it different? Why is it better than the last season?
I would say that this season, like last season, there was a lot of tension. This season, it's really dark. It's like insidious. It's a bully. Like the town is like a bully, and it's like now it's just picking on them for no goddamn reason. Like it's just really just picking on them. And so this season, like it really just uh, it makes you mad. It breaks your heart. It makes you want to figure out like how to get these people out of there. It makes you sympathize for them, and in some instances, maybe even makes you suddenly dislike a person. Maybe a person that you liked before that now you're going like, now I'm questioning who you are. And so this season it really is dark. It's a dark turn on the on everything that's happening and what's going on. And the town is really messing with them. It's terrible.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. That got me excited. I'm gonna grab me a bottle of Sable and I'm gonna watch. Thank
See
you.
what I'm saying? God, that's what I'm gonna be doing too. Say for all you guys, if you don't know, I'm doing a bourbon with my friends called Sable. It just launched today, and so I'm gonna be doing a lot of drunk tweeting for the next few months. It's gonna be wild.
All right, cordcutting.com, you're up next.
All right. Hey,
All right.
Harold. I'm Melanie and Emily here from Yellow Jackets Hive podcast. And thanks for taking the time.
Did you say
Um,
Melanie and Emily?
yes, I'm Melanie. My partner Emily's here as well. So
Oh,
I'm
hey,
asking
both
the
of you.
question
Hi.
though. So yeah,
I thought I was
we
just
got two
like,
of them.
what?
Yes, not two people, one and yes.
Hey, Melanie.
Hey, so our question is, do you believe that Boyd, as the show's lead and the town leader, has really brought his A game to address the situation for the residents? And do you see him stepping up more during the next season into this leadership role? And he's already done a lot, right? But do you see him going harder next season?
You mean this in the fourth season or in this third season that's
In
coming
in
up?
season three, in season
Oh,
three.
okay. So yeah, I do think he's brought his A game. I think he showed up with his A game. I think once he was like, "Look, I'm gonna figure this out." I think he brought everything he could bring to the table. But like I was just saying before, this town is not playing. They are fucking with him like over and over and over and over again, and with everybody. And so I think he's gonna push harder. I think he's gonna keep going harder, and I think there won't be a way to stop him unless you stop him. And so and I don't mean slow him down. I mean stop him. You will have
Okay.
to end him before he stops trying. And so I think he will continue to bring his A game and until his very last breath. I'm not saying he's going to
Ooh,
have a last breath. It's just
okay.
a saying. It's a thing.
All right. Appreciate that. Look forward to the A game here in season three.
All right, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kristen Maldonado from Pop Culture Planet. It's so great to meet you. I'm
Thank
obsessed with this show. So thank you for your time today.
thank you, really.
You know, this season is really interesting because so much in this town is changing.
Right.
Uh, and you've already mentioned a little bit about how like this town is really bullying them, but I feel like specifically they're bullying Boyd. Like what's really interesting is like these creatures, they're not interested in killing him. They just want to break him. And I wanted to know like what is it about Boyd that makes him sort of that chosen one this season that it's like, we'll kill whoever, but like Boyd, we're not gonna kill him. We're gonna mess with his brain. What
Right.
about him?
I think what I think is really is really it's we don't talk about it in the season, but it's like it's the undertone. It's the reason that the monsters don't move fast. We mentioned it once. They don't move fast because they don't have to. They're gonna get you. Like I don't have to run. I'm gonna get you. There's no place for you to go. And so while I consider that Boyd is probably the most one of the most dangerous ones there, and they should get rid of him, they're like, for what? Like it's gonna be fun. Like watch how he squirms and struggles and like bites himself because he thinks he's gonna win, but he's not. And so I think, for whatever reason, they're enjoying it. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on in John Griffin's brain that would make you like do a thing where a town is teasing the toughest guy around, but that's what they're doing, and that's the thing. I think that they're doing because they're like, no, yeah, bring your A game. Like he said, bring it. No, I want to see. And that's
I will play with our food a little.
exactly that, exactly that. And so that's what they're doing. It's terrible. They suck.
They-
Yeah.
Perfect. Good, Jamie.
I am Jamie Ruby from Sci-Fi Vision. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Hey,
Love the
Jamie.
show. Best show on well, streaming, not TV, but best show that's on. Right?
That's a
probably
nice
the best way to
compliment.
say it,
Thanks.
yeah. So this season, as we've discussed, is about making Boyd break. And he has to go through quite a lot, having to see quite a lot of bad things happen. I've heard a lot of actors talk about how sometimes your body doesn't realize that, trauma isn't really trauma and that kind of thing. How hard was it getting to some of those really dark places this season? And was it hard to step out of? Because I know it was hard to watch, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, it was that was pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It was really difficult. And it was made more difficult because we didn't have the same kind of escape mechanisms we'd had in previous seasons where we could go out and there might be a concert or a thing. Like we were in the dead of winter, and so after you left some late night shoot and it was snowing again, you were just kind of trapped in your place with your thoughts about the thing that you just shot 3 hours ago. And so it was pretty difficult. There's one thing that happens. I don't know if it's like in this 6th episode that literally every time I went to close my eyes to go to sleep, it would pop back in my brain. Because it's my own personal fear. And so like that really sucked. Like if I'm being really honest, that's when I was like, I'm questioning my career choices. I'm really like, I don't know, like could I have been a dolphin trainer? Maybe something else. But it was pretty tricky. But here's the thing: it's the thing I love to do, right? Like there's sometimes you have to go through some wacky stuff to deal with it, and so I'm fortunate to get to do it. So I don't mean to complain about it, but it's not always as it's not so easy. Again, back to Sable. I'm gonna be drunk a lot. So, so that's how we do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi, Harold. This is Jamie Stein with Starry Constellation Magazine. What a great season for you, and loving Aurora on Chaos. Man, is she...
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she's doing such a great job, isn't she?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
this season, a theme seems to be fatherhood. Jim and his kids, Victor and his father, and last season we found out Ellis is going to be a dad himself. So given he has a strained relationship with Boyd, how will their dynamic change this season? Will Ellis's journey into fatherhood kind of impact his relationship with Boyd?
Yeah, actually. And yeah, with the help of, yeah, that's the answer to your question and I think it's a natural thing, right? That once, you look at your dad as that guy. I did it myself as that guy. But then when you have your kids, and I don't mean to be like higher or lower, but I mean you have your kids who like you have to protect. Like suddenly that guy has to take a back seat. Whatever it was that you thought he knew before, like it's not his job anymore. And so then that creates a dynamic between father and son. And I think Boyd and Ellis get into a bit of that. And with people pushing Ellis to be like, yo, you have a child coming. You need to step up. And so I think that's going to be, I think those are going to be really interesting. That's going to be an interesting relationship to watch. That's the best way to say that. Man, I was struggling to get that one out without giving away any information. Jesus. So yeah, it'll be an interesting relationship to watch. That's the answer.
Thank you.
All right, Fifth Wall Studios, you're next.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for taking time out of your day because I know you're busy to join us. And I've been a lifelong fan of yours, so this is very, very exciting to me. So I appreciate
Oh,
you being
wow.
here. I'm Kay from the Fifth Wall Studios. I would like to know, Boyd is a complex character, we know,
Yeah,
and he has a lot of emotional depth. How
right.
would you describe his character arc over the past 3 seasons? And were there any challenges you had with portraying Boyd?
So like I would sort of describe him as like a person who is stuck in a hole that just keeps getting deeper, right? And so like it just won't stop. And so like I feel like especially as far as the storytelling goes for us, I feel like he's right in the middle of his journey, in that middle part where you're about to lose like all hope because you can't see the pathway. And so like I think before, in the very beginning, he thought naively like I can figure this out and I can figure it out quickly, and then it turned, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
it turned again. And so it's like, fuck, I can't. And so like this is the part of it that's really starting to get into that desperation
Right.
place for Boyd, right? And so how does he navigate with his sane mind with the part of his mind that feels like it's starting to fracture a little,
Right.
especially, and then with the oncome of the uh, the Parkinson's and those things,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a real fracture that's happening. And so, what was the second part of your question? His
And
evolution.
challenges with this character arc.
Oh, the challenges. Oh, so some of the things are really that are challenging are like those things that you have to put in your brain, like in order to make you feel a thing about Boyd, he has to really have loved his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he loves his wife and he loves his child, then the choice he has to make in a split second is really difficult. And I remember having a hard time figuring out how to play that because my body kept wanting to say, like, you can't shoot her. There's nothing to do. Like, you can't. There's no way you shoot yourself first. Like, I came up with all these other excuses, but then I had to find the way that would make him do that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to even find it together. We had all these other scenarios, and the only way that came out is that he couldn't think about it. Do you know what I mean? That he had to, like, he's trying to talk to her, and then she threatens, and he just responds like, and it was hard to get there because once I decided that I loved them, it's really hard to it was
Yeah.
a hard thing to figure out. So that was that part.
Yes.
And then it
Thank you.
keeps getting worse.
It does. It does. And thank you so much.
Yes, man. Thank you.
Hey, Harold, Anthony from the movie blog. Look, my audience is so excited for me to finally get to speak with you. Oh my
All
gosh.
right, Anthony, let's do
Oh,
it.
so I got a good question.
Got it.
I don't know if you can share it, but can you share any behind the scenes moments from filming season 3 that particularly stood out to you or might surprise fans? But if you can't do that, because I know you can't tell everything, can you finally tell us why is this show called From?
Yeah, man. I wish I could tell you that. I wish I could tell you that. Like, I had this whole thing the first season that reminded me of Rakim. It ain't where you're from, it's where you at. And I thought that's, like that's why it was called From, because it's like it don't really matter where you came from. We here, ain't we? And so that's what. And so you think it would be called Here, but it's not. So I don't know. That's the answer to that. I don't know why it's called From. And John keeps saying it'll be explained. John Griffin, our writer, and so I'm waiting for the explanation like everybody else. But that being said, the one thing that's really, really great about this season, like behind the scenes, is that this season we shot in the winter for the first time, and if you've never shot a show in the winter in a place where the weather is wildly unpredictable, then you ain't done nothing. Because this is like, we literally would start shooting a scene. It's blue skies, and we shoot and we start. And like in the middle of the scene, it kind of starts snowing a little bit, but only enough for it to be like, oh, like, what is that? And so you stop. You're like, okay, let's wait for the snow to stop. And then it keeps snowing really hard. You're like, forget it. Let's just shoot it in the snow. And then you shoot one person in the snow, and then you turn around and shoot the other person, and then it stops snowing and starts raining. And you're like, yo, somebody's, y'all playing now. Now y'all playing. And then it gets really, really cold. That's what the whole season was like. It looks beautiful. The season looks really dark and scary, but it sucked the whole way through. It was like that the whole way through. Like, and our crew was, you couldn't complain because the crew was outside like all the time, like the whole time. And anyway, just know that it looks cool. It sucked. It really did. That's behind the scenes. Yes, sir.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate it.
And we're going to find out the reason why it's called From. One day, we're going to find out. I'm going to be with you.
I heard about Manny Gomez with that hashtag show. Congratulations on the 3rd season.
Thank you,
My
sir.
question is, with that, we live in a world really where a lot of shows don't get the opportunity to shine or really develop enough for audiences to care for the characters. What does it mean to you as an actor to be able to explore Boyd now for a 3rd season, and what are you excited for us to see about him going forward in the 3rd season?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm really, really grateful because you're right. A lot of shows they don't get a chance to develop and find an audience, and I think like what was a real blessing in disguise for us is that we were on a streaming network that was brand new, that definitely needed content and needed things, and our show came out and people really, really liked it, and that gave us the opportunity to come back again. If we were on some other network, we might have had other financial commitments or goals that we had to reach in order to get another season. But being on MGM Plus, they were like, well, let's just keep rolling all these shows, and they kept rolling with us. And so I'm really, really grateful because like everybody else, I want to know what's happening. I want to know why the show is called From. Like, I want to know, I want to know. And so we're getting that opportunity, and I'm wildly like thankful to MGM Plus for like rolling with us again and again and again. And even though we had to like move the show to the winter because of the writer's strike, and the fans are really, really with us, and they're like, yeah, bring it back. They actually did it. They were like, yeah, we're going to keep going. And so I'm really, really grateful about that. Like that we get a chance to do it for myself, for our whole crew and cast. Like I think we work really hard. Like lots of people work hard, but I'm glad we're getting the opportunity to do it.